The moment one definitely commits oneself, then providence moves too. All sorts of things occur to help the one that would have never otherwise occurred. Unforeseen incidents, meetings, and material assistance that no man could have dreamed would have come his way. Uh-oh. My clicker doesn't work. Got it. Okay. There we go. Okay, so welcome to the question mark wall. This is located in the Rocky Mountains in Utah State. Year after year, individuals come to this reflection point and they become internalized with questions. And some of the things that they ask themselves are, how did I get here? Am I traveling the right path? Am I clear on where I want to go? The unfortunate thing is not that we don't know the answers to these questions, it's that so many people aren't asking these questions of themselves. Viktor Frankl wrote the award-winning book, Man's Search for Meaning, about his time as a doctor during Nazi Germany, as a Jewish doctor. Well, today's man is not searching for meaning. Today's man is not willing to find his path. He's not willing to be a leader. So leader is an Indo-European word derived from two other words, leia, which means path, and der, which means finder. See, a leader is a pathfinder. They're the ones that are able to see the clues and the signs. Imagine a hunting party going out. Those that become the leaders are the ones that recognize the signs of the game and they stop and listen. They get down on their hands and knees and they look for the marks. They put their ears to the ground and they can hear where the game is. They touch the ground and see in which direction the game has gone. See, in olden days, finding the true path of the game was life-sustaining. So I decided to look at a preacher, a prime minister, and a president to see what the leadership that lies in you has to do with you living a life full of impact and transformation. So I studied a couple of books that gave me an in-depth look into my prime minister, the notorious Winston Churchill, my president, POTUS number 16, Abraham Lincoln, and the preacher, Jesus of Nazareth. Now I know what you're wondering. How did I come up with these three individuals? Well, there really wasn't a process. I just admired them, so I thought it would be exciting for me to take an in-depth look into their lives. You should do it sometime. As a society, we've succumbed to the dark side of taking in-depth looks into people's lives. We just call it reality TV. So, before I talk about these individuals, let's speak a little bit about my path. Well, what is the path that I'm traveling now? As the MC discussed, I'm married to a fantastic wife, Laquana. We have 3 beautiful children. Madison, who does like when I buy her things. Michael Jr., who calls me his hero, and we will talk about that a little bit later. And Morgan, who loves when we sing together. I am also director of a Christian ministry, a part of one of the largest churches in the city of Houston. We have about 12,000 plus parishioners. And I'm also president and co-founder of Brooks & Davis Real Estate Firm, LLC. Notice how I let my business partner's name go first. He's a little older than me. You know what they say, age before beauty. So what path did I travel to get here? Well, that path included foreclosure, repossession. It included eviction. It included shame, fear, financial lack. It included embarrassment. It included fear. Need I say more? As you can see, that path was a little rocky. I have 3 points for you today, and this brings me to my first point. Your pathfinder is exercised in crisis. 147,000 individuals died or were maimed in Britain because of German bombardment. And during this time, Winston Churchill not only became the Lord of Admiralty, where he would be responsible for defending Britain against the 3-headed Hydra of Germany, Japan, and Italy, but he also took command of British history and became its prime minister. The president was in middle 19th century United States when the nation was torn between from those from the north versus those from the south over that peculiar institution, slavery. During his Senate nomination acceptance speech, a part of the first Republican convention, he says, "A house divided cannot stand, and I believe that this government cannot permanently endure being half slave and half free." That brings me to a story of a little boy. This little boy is watching a cocoon, and suddenly something miraculous happens. a little hole at the bottom of the cocoon opens up and the butterfly begins to emerge. At first, the boy is excited, but then he becomes concerned because this butterfly is struggling to come out. It seems like it's making no progress, and it's devastated. So the little boy grabs some scissors and cuts a slit into the cocoon. Well, immediately the butterfly comes out. Well, now this butterfly has a swollen body and shriveled up wings. Now the boy watches the butterfly to wait for it to begin to fly. But this butterfly won't never fly, because since it wasn't allowed to struggle through the little hole in the cocoon, the fluid in its body was not able to be pushed into its wings. So this butterfly will walk for the rest of its life. And as we go through life, we need to remember that struggle is a part of any growth experience, and it's the thing that develops our ability to fly. My next point is your Pathfinder owns it. Well, what does it own? It owns absolutely and takes responsible for everything when it comes to the results of your life. We see, as recorded in the book of Mark, the preacher speaking to his disciples saying, "Behold, we go to Jerusalem, and the Son of Man will be delivered to the chief priests and the scribes, and they will condemn him, and they will deliver him to the Gentiles. And he will be mocked, and he will be scourged, and he will be spit upon, and they will kill him." See, Jesus took responsibility for many people. We see some of that as well with Winston Churchill, as he's dealing with the Battle of Britain. He's dealing with impending invasion. He's dealing with the blitz on British cities, as well as those that are coming to get him from Germany. This is what Churchill says: "Never before in human conflict has so many owed so much to so few. And upon this battle, Christian civilization will survive." So that's Winston Churchill. Let's look at what Oprah says. Oprah says, "You are responsible for your life. And if you're sitting there waiting for somebody else to fix you, to help you, to even save you, then you are wasting your time, because only you have the power to take responsibility to move your life forward." In short, Oprah saying your Pathfinder owns it. So my final point is your Pathfinder is born out of love. See, love is the thing that defines leadership. The more that you love the people that you lead, the more effective a leader that you'll be. And the most important person that you need to lead, which is in essence the most important person that you need to love, and that is yourself. We see that through the way that the president treated his wife. See, Mary Todd Lincoln had some challenges with her temper, and a lot of it she put towards her husband. There's even one account of her chasing Lincoln down the road with a butcher knife. Now, although Mary Todd's temper issues were short-lived, she would always feel ill about them afterwards, Lincoln never condemned his wife. He just focused on spending more time at home so he could offer her the reassurance and the support that she needed. Now, the preacher was love, according to the Apostle John. And Reza Aslan wrote a book called Zealot. And in his book, he says that Jesus Christ was just one of many Messiah that came to liberate the Jews from Roman rule. Well, the thing about Jesus' followers were that they were crucified, they were killed, they were mocked, they were ridiculed, yet they never gave up their belief that Jesus was Lord. And if we listen to Aslan, if so many Messiah came, why does it seem like he was the only one that nobody ever forgot? I mean, we're talking 2 millennia and millions of followers later. Why is that? I say because of the power of love. There is no greater representation of love than his sacrifice for all of humanity. I mean, who wouldn't want that person to lead their path? So, your Pathfinder is exercised in crisis, it owns it, and it's born out of love. See, death is a guarantee. All 3 of these individuals died, but life is a choice. Yet so many of us choose not to live it, but not you guys. Because today, at this moment, you're going to choose your path. You're going to exercise it in the crises that come. You're going to own it and everything that comes with it, and you're going to allow it to be born out of your love. I'll finish with this story. So my family and I were at CC's. And after we had eaten, the children go to the back. There's an arcade in the back. Well, they're excited because they're playing that game that has the claw, where it goes down and it gets the toys and bring up the trinkets. Michael Jr. wins a miniature soccer ball, and he comes and shows us, and he's excited about it. So they go back and play, and some times later, we hear, "Mom, Dad, come quick." So we rush back there to see what's going on, and we're informed that Michael Jr.'s miniature soccer ball has rolled under one of these video games. So here I am, at the precipice of my Pathfinder. We're in a crisis that I must own, and the reason I'm here is because of these 8 eyeballs that are looking at me. So I begin to bend my knees to grab the bottom of this machine. Now, I am convinced that I can maybe not possibly budge this monstrosity of a machine to get this soccer ball. But I am so glad that when I decided to travel my true path, that Providence gave me some assistance in the form of 4 little bitty wheels that were at the bottom of this video game. So I was able to move it forward, quickly get the miniature soccer ball, and hand it back to its rightful owner, my son. Now, this was confirmation that I found my path. These 5 words that my son said to me on this day. Words that I had never heard before, and they were so sweet to my soul that I'm going to do all that I can to where I can hear them again. My 4-year-old son, Michael Jr., my mini-me, looked upward towards his father and said, "Dad, you're my hero." Thank you.